Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for March 1st, 2014. It's currently 11 a.m. We are in March, and that means spring is not that far away. If I sound excited, it's because I'm looking forward to sleep. You know, I've been pretty busy with this winter, and it's been going on as forecasted. I knew it was going to be active, but this has been ridiculous. And now we have another winter storm on the way to start off March. March is coming in like a lion, which means, on a positive note, it's going to go out like a lamb. You would think. At least that's what the lore is. Anyway, we have temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s just north and west of the major cities, and upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast in the major New York City and Philadelphia metro areas. So, today will be our warm day, so to speak, with temperatures in the mid to upper 30s for highs. We have some scattered cloud cover. Could see an isolated flurry or two with a passing disturbance, but overall, a very nice day. Tomorrow, though, well, tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day because we're going to have an Arctic cold front move into the region with scattered snow showers, changing over to moderate snow, changing over to heavy snow by Monday morning. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's going to be a very, very busy 48 hours throughout the northern mid-Atlantic, and then we start to get a little bit of a reprieve as we start to move towards a warmer weather pattern. Fingers crossed that it actually stays in place. Now, here is the radar. National radar from Intellicast. An excellent radar display here. I like to share when I see a great product that's free online so everyone else can use it as well. Now, what we see here is a perfect layout of here's our subtropical disturbance, our powerful storm, finally giving rain to all of California, and they need it. And then here is our Arctic boundary. Now, this Arctic boundary here is going to drop south tomorrow afternoon. Ahead of that Arctic boundary, temperatures will rise into the upper 30s to lower 40s for highs. Not bad. It's going to be a very nice afternoon. Then that Arctic cold front moves through and temperatures start to crash rapidly on Sunday evening, tomorrow evening, with rain and snow showers changing over to snow showers. And then it starts to get interesting as all this moisture here starts to converge and ride along the Arctic cold front. So let's take a look at the infrared satellite picture for today. Again, we're on the exiting region of the high pressure system, so look for increasing clouds by this evening. No precipitation really is expected aside from a few flurries. You got this one little disturbance out here that might cause a flurry or an isolated shower. But again, no major situations or major heavy precipitation. Temperatures by tomorrow morning fall into the mid to upper 20s for lows. Not as brutally cold as what we've been dealing with, and believe me, it's been incredibly cold to end February. But now we're in March and we're a little bit warmer. It's a nice feeling, you know, mid to upper 20s. It's better than 5. So it's certainly a nice warm up by tomorrow morning. And then the highs for tomorrow afternoon in the upper 30s to lower 40s ahead of this Arctic cold front. Now, this cold front is key because where this lines up will set up where exactly this low pressure system will track and where the strongest thermodynamics will set up. That's why I'm using a big word here, thermodynamics. That is what is going to be the whole factor in where the heaviest snow is going to set up for tomorrow night through almost all of Monday. Now, when we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, this really tells the whole story here. Okay, we have the polar vortex here. It's spinning around, causing havoc, driving cold air into the United States. And of course, it's pretty cold here. Now it's starting to retreat. And that's a key difference from the previous storms, where it was just kind of locked in around the Hudson Bay and just kind of crushing any disturbance that was approaching. Now it's starting to give way a little bit. Meanwhile, we have our very strong subtropical disturbance. At one point, it had an eye here. I mean, it was really impressive. But it's starting to weaken as it should, as it's moving into more of a convergent flow. That's when the air comes together. So as a result, this disturbance is going to push into the west coast today, into the southwest by this evening. and then it's going to basically ride like a train almost along where this front stalls out. So it would basically take a track like that. So by doing so, anywhere north of this track can expect moderate to heavy snow. That's pretty much the whole driving factor with this forecast. Where the strongest thermal gradient sets up at the mid levels and lower levels of the atmosphere will tell us where the heaviest snowfall will set up, and thus that is the mechanism or the driving thoughts behind the forecast I have out as of this morning. So let's take a look at some of the model guidance and also the forecast. So the forecast for this storm, I have to admit, was pretty difficult for me because I was trying to weigh the factors of, okay, we know what the pattern that we're in place right now will do to these disturbances, but we also know that pattern's starting to change. At the same time, the disturbance coming into the west coast is a lot stronger, but should weaken in this type of upper level pattern, which basically supports the upper level disturbance to weaken. Now, let me jump to the European real fast and kind of show you what I mean here. You see how it's packed in here? When it's packed in here like this, when you have all these lines packed in, that means that there's convergence aloft. And that basically is a stranglehold on disturbances. So it causes them to weaken as they move east, because what you have is converging air, which sinks, which weakens weather systems or upper level disturbances. So taking that into a factor with the cold air building in, and with some moisture transport. There's going to be some moisture transport from the Pacific, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Atlantic. That's how I come together with this forecast. Now I'll jump to this in a second. I just want to show you the latest NAM model guidance here of this storm. And we'll see it come in. Again, here comes the Arctic cold front. It drops south tomorrow afternoon. In the evening, temperatures are crashing. Now here's an important note here. We start off as some rain. Not a lot, just a little bit. Rain, sleet mix as the cold air is coming in. We'll have a little bit of ice mixed in here as these temperatures are crashing. And some of these areas are going to see a pretty heavy start to sleet in this scenario as that cold air is crashing in. But that quickly is going to go over to snow. So I want to make this absolutely clear. It'll start off as rain, sleet, sleet, snow, and then finally all snow. This is going to just be for Sunday evening as that cold air is invading the region. But eventually that cold air locks in, and then we have our disturbance approach on Monday, and with it some very heavy snow. Now, with this being a case, notice that over the northern interior, the focus for the heaviest snowfall is to your south. Now, the NAM model guidance sets up a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about with the thermal gradient. You see this packing here? See how these lines here are really packed in here? That's called a thermal gradient. And because of that thermal gradient, like what we're seeing here, that's what creates the potential for the heaviest snowfall. If this gradient, shifts a little bit further north, let's say towards Monmouth and Ocean County, then Monmouth and Ocean County would be in the heavier snowfall. If this gradient shifted as far north as New York City would be in the heaviest snowfall. I currently don't think that's going to be the case because of the way that the polar vortex, this right there, see that right there, is set up. Just the way that the whole pattern sets up, it would suggest that the dry air wins out over the interior, not so much along the coast where some heavy precipitation is really going to line up. Monday is going to be rather ugly. Now notice this is a very key point here. Monday afternoon, if you're in northeastern Pennsylvania, Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, even northern New Jersey, you're pretty much out of this. This is a short duration event for you in these locations because the cold dry air is going to win out. Locations from New York City on south, including Philadelphia, of course, and especially southern New Jersey, this storm is for you because you are in the jackpot zone of where the battle line is going to set up between this Arctic air and the warm air over the southeast. That is why I had the heaviest snowfall basically focused over southern New Jersey into the south of Philadelphia. I think that's where the best battle zone will set up. Now, this could shift north. I leave that as a possibility in the forecast here. So let's go over that forecast. Basically, the start time of the snow and snow showers between 4 and 8 p.m. on Sunday. End time between 8 and 11 p.m. on Monday over the coastal areas. If I'm focusing over the interior, I'm still going with 8 p.m. for the interior just for snow showers. But really, your steady snow is over by about 4 p.m. But you're still going to be at threat for some snow showers, and some of those snow showers will be capable of some heavy bursts. So up through about 8 p.m. over the northern interior on Monday, you'll still be at the threat for snow showers, and those snow showers could surprise you with some heavy bursts. Worst conditions from 9 a.m. Monday through 7 p.m. Monday, and of course that's right in the middle of both rush hours, which would be absolutely perfect if you like to drive very slowly. So please drive very slowly in this snowfall. It's a light fluffy snow, which is good, but that also means visibility is going to be rather poor. So use some caution there. So here we are with the forecast. Again, this forecast remains a high volatility storm. However, clearly the worst conditions of the storm will be found over and south of Philadelphia Metro, Zone 3. There's always a chance, though, that this Zone 3 here could shift a little bit further north, let's say into central New Jersey, if that banding and the best thermodynamics shifts north a little bit. I'm not talking about a drastic shift north. I don't see that happening. But a little shift north into central New Jersey is possible. I don't expect it, but it's possible. So, Zone 1, all snow 1 to 4 inches. Zone 2, snow mixing with sleet at times because I think there will be some warm pockets worked in there at the mid-levels. 5 to 10 inches of snow is expected, up to 1/10 of an inch of sleet. Zone 3, this is where I think the banding is going to set up. 10 to 15 inches of snow, up to 1/10 of an inch of sleet possible. Heavy snow banding a high threat. Now, some people were asking, Stephen, why do you have such a different range from here, 5 to 10 and then 10 to 15? Well, if the strongest banding is going to set up over southern New Jersey, over southern Pennsylvania, and over portions of Maryland and northern Delaware, that means there has to be sinking air. So I'm envisioning here a very intense band setting up here, and then this snow shield here kind of breaking up and showing holes in it. Some people call it dry sliding. It's not. What basically that is that very strong rising air is happening here, and so you have sinking air over here, over New York City, over central New Jersey, northeast New Jersey, Allentown, Reading, and so you get this broken up snowfall, thus the lower snowfall. You'll see a very defined trend in the snowfall accumulations going from almost 1 to 4 inches up here. You'll have like maybe an inch here, 2, 3, 4, and then it gets packed in here really tight until you get down here where you start getting into the foot of snow ranges. So you can see how this house sets up. I did this for a reason. If you're going to have the strongest banding here, then you have to have sinking air here. Basic physics happens every time with every storm. If you see very heavy snow setting up here, I guarantee you'll start to see breaks in the precipitation shield over New York City, over Long Island, over central New Jersey, and over portions of east central Pennsylvania, just to the north of Philadelphia, as a result. So what happens after this storm leaves? Do we finally get a break? Well, I do have some good news. Basically, the polar vortex and all its cold air with it is going to start to retreat. Now, we do have a storm to watch out for the end of next week. I'll get to that in a second. For the rest of this coming week, once we get rid of this storm, on Tuesday it's going to be cold behind this storm. Temperatures in the single digits to lower teens for lows and upper teens to lower 20s for highs on Tuesday. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. Wednesday, though, we start to warm up a little bit, still well below normal, though. High pressure and control, scattered clouds, temperatures in the single digits to lower teens for lows, upper 20s to lower 30s for highs. Then we start getting a little bit warmer. By the time we get to Thursday, we're talking about mid to upper teens for lows and lower to mid 30s for highs. We should be at 49. Granted, it's going to be a chilly week. But by the time we get to Friday, you might be noticing this storm here. This storm is the result of a disturbance trying to cut off in the southern jet stream, the subtropical jet. Notice it remains separate from the polar jet stream. Okay, notice all the cold air is locked up in Canada as our polar vortex is retreating northward. As a result, this is a warm storm. So Friday looks like a rainstorm here. That's right, rain, not snow. It's got to be watched, just in case we see a little bit more interaction here. But for right now, it looks like the polar jet stream and the subtropical jet stream remain separate. So that means we have a strong easterly wind. Could be some coastal flooding here on Friday with some heavy rain. Temperatures warming up into the upper 40s to lower 50s for highs on Friday. So we have to deal with rain, but at least we get warmer. And then as we head into the weekend, this storm exits. And let me show you this real fast. As we move forward between 7 and 10 days, we start to get more of a zonal pattern start to shape up here. As we start to lose our trough in the east, it starts to become weaker. And notice that the pattern isn't as amplified. You got an upper level low in the Gulf of Alaska. You have a weak ridge out west and a weak trough over the east. But notice all the extreme cold air is locked up in Canada. And we moderate to more of a near normal type weather pattern as we head into the first full week, or second full week of March. Okay, we can wait a little bit. Mid-March, it finally warms up. And we'll have to watch to see these little disturbances move through, but it looks like they'll mostly be of a rain threat variety. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.